So guys, there's a reason I'm telling you this stuff. So whenever I went into this therapy, I had no clue about any of this. Like, this is learned from experience, from Brian and from his staff. Well, ironically enough, we cross paths. And again, I fully believe in God's divine timing.
I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today.
So shortly after you started here, I was on my walk, saw the sign, gave them a call. And of course, y'all know me. I'm always Mr. Innovative. So I saw the sign and someone just told me, like, bring up social media. So I was like, are you guys looking to grow your social media? And they're like, oh my God, yes, we are. Are you an influencer? I'm like, well, I don't really know what that is, but maybe, yeah. So they peeped my stuff and it was like, follow. And they're like, oh my God, come in. So I went in and they were just like, come float, check it out, see what you like. And then I think it was either that day or the next day, the owner, who is a badass because his name is Adam. But real talk. So Adam, the owner of that, he owns the spa in Pittsburgh, in Wexford, and in South Hills. Yeah. So this guy comes out and he's like, hey, I love what you're doing and I've peeped all your stuff. And I was like, uh-oh. And he's like, you clearly know what you're doing. And I'm actually looking at helping my manager, who's Brian, grow to become, like, he's great. He's got great potential, but I'm really looking for him to grow the team because y'all have how many employees?
At the Wexford location?
Like all the places.
14
employees. Yeah. So you're leading in some capacity all those people. So he recognizes as a business owner that your business is as good as your management, which is real talk. And you guys in pharmacy know that's 1000% true. So he's like, this guy has absolutely incredible potential. I believe in him. I see what you're doing. And your focus isn't on growing like followers, but it's really at the core of where that comes from, of building your personal brand. And getting to know Brian and his story, I don't do business with people I don't believe in because that's actually not helpful to him or myself or the people that either of us are serving. So I learned your story and I was like, this is absolutely fantastic because your personal brand and your business brand were totally intertwined. And I want you to share what your personal brand is. So we talked about True Rest and the benefits of that. And obviously with that, it's a business you want to grow, get more clients and share the benefits and create a community, which is what we've been working on. And it's thriving. Like, it's going freaking really good. Like, the numbers blow my mind. But I'm talking about your personal brand because in the beginning of this podcast interview, you shared your story of what addiction was for you, that place you came to. And now, because you're in that good space, you're going to not just like move on, but you're going to actually repurpose this into something that is of service to others who are stuck where you used to be. Yeah. So can you kind of share what your personal brand, what that means to you?
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, obviously I want to help people who are battling prescription addiction or any kind of addiction. And let me back up and say addiction isn't just to substance.
Yes.
My addiction started with, fitness addiction. And there's different levels to different things, but just to help people who feel kind of hopeless through addiction or feel like there's no way that they're ever going to get clean from whatever it is that's going on upstairs.
Yeah.
So it's that, but it's also, not to go another layer deep with this, but so for me, like, medical marijuana has been a game changer for me. And I think and I'm not saying it's the right avenue for everyone who's recovering from addiction, but I think there's this stigma that, like, oh, if you're a recovering addict, like, you can't have anything. But for me, like, that's allowed me to kind of slow down and not only deal with the reasons as to why I was self-medicating at that rate, but just to kind of be more here in the now.
Yeah. So I think what you're doing is not going to people and saying, like, you have to do this because that's what helped me, but you're using your testimony from overcoming your test to really flip your cap to be a hope dealer.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like, you had that thought of you've got a problem, but you just kind of pushed it aside.
Yeah.
Reaching people that know they have a problem, that are ready to change, but they don't believe in themselves. They feel like they're too deep in the pit. They feel like they've done irreparable damage. They feel like they're beyond saving or they're broken or unfixable or unlovable or whatever label you want to throw on.
Right.
But you're kind to them because you overcame that. You know what that feels like. and you're not directing them. You're not a therapist or anything, but you're more of an advocate to say, there is hope.
Right.
I overcame this. Let me connect you with people that might be right for you, because really your purpose, in my view, is to be a hope dealer and see that possibility to say, like, if you tried one thing and it didn't work, that doesn't mean it's game over. It means that didn't work for you, and there's other opportunities available.
Yeah, everyone's recovery journey is different.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I think people, not just with recovery, but in a lot of different ways, get thrown into a box of this is what this looks like, the stereotypes of things. But everyone's journey is different. Every recovery journey is different. And
that's such an important message that I'm so glad you said that. It's like I directed you to it. It's so important, guys, because so many people, regardless of, let's just flip this into fitness. So let's say you want to lose weight. You've tried something before. You know how many people say, I've tried everything to lose weight. Well, so this is from, you can try so many different modalities, but there's always a different way. There's always another way. And having that hope of having a different strategy is all that someone needs to just have that seed planted that maybe there is another opportunity. Yeah. Like, oh, I never thought of medical marijuana, or, oh, I don't even know what float therapy is. Not that will cure addiction, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's lots of opportunities to the unseen eye. And that's really what I feel your role is to be that voice for the voiceless. Be that hope for the hopeless.
I was just going to say hope. There's no such thing as hopeless.
Yes, exactly.
You think there is, but there's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want you to say that again, because that is something that is keeping a lot of people stuck. Right. Whether it's addiction, whether it's in a toxic relationship, whether it's feeling stuck in a career that you just hate and you feel like your soul's dying a little bit every day, and you feel like this is hopeless. How many times do you hear people say that?
Yeah.
But I think that's an important message. So please say that again.
There is no such thing as hopeless. The only thing that is hopeless is if you don't take steps.
Yes.
And it's not always easy to take those steps by yourself either. So when we first met, yes, I was past addiction and I was on the other side of that, but I was actually going through probably the worst depression I'd ever been through.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes other people to give you that hope.
Yeah, man. Tell us about that journey, because people are like, wait, how'd this happen? So I meet with Adam, talk about the plan, script your brand, get you in the course. Our first meeting was at Panera.
Yeah.
The place to start all businesses, right? So yeah, we meet up, but yeah, just walk us through that journey. Like, where were you when we first met? What did that journey look like for you? And what were like the takeaways or anything that you want to share?
Yeah. So when did we meet? First of all, what month? Do you remember?
It was in the fall.
October?
October. Yeah, October. October is when we met, and that was November, December, and then end of January is when we ended. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I had been working at Trevis since July, something like that. And the beginning of that journey was great. I was super excited to have the new gig. I was feeling great. But then I don't know at what point I started to hit kind of this, like, oh, I'm going through the motions. Like, this is great, but like, it's just another day. It's just another day. It's just another day. So when we met, I was kind of in that, I love my job. I love my bosses, but like, I don't know what my purpose is. Like, is it just to manage this spa and that's it?
Yeah.
So kind of sitting down with you kind of helped lay out the direction as to like, you can do something more than just manage this spa. Yeah. And for me, like I've always been really rewarded by investing in my employees and giving back to others. So you opening up my eyes to like, you can do this on a deeper level than just your employees was.
Yeah. I saw that, man, for sure. And I remember a few sessions we had where it started with this, like, here we are, but then like there was this light in your eye and you were like, put out your pad. And I kept going, but I paused because you're writing so much. Like, this is great. Yeah. And I could see the excitement. And I'd always end with one question. How do you feel?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Feel great.
Yeah.
I was always excited. I'm like, so it was probably frustrating for you because like we'd meet and I'm
not
like,
at all.
I'd sit there and I'd like digest everything and I'd give you like 2 or 3 sentences and then like I'd text you 4 or 5 days later.
Not at all, dude.
Not even 4 or 5 days, like 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah.
And just be like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. But no, so the first thing I did is, and this is a whole other podcast for real. So shout out to one of my other clients, Allison Brennan, founder of Imogene & Co., who is really immersed me in the Enneagram, which we had a conversation.
I love the Enneagram.
Yeah, so now this dude's like real deep. We're already like 3 books in now.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're reading the Millenniagram now. That's the book.
Yeah,
so big advocate. So shout out to you, Allison. Thank you. But that's just the greatness of a community, because all the clients, myself, we all grow together, and there's just so many different cross points in everyone's path. So you have a spa manager with a skincare professional, and you're like, but look at what happened. So now like you're just really taking this to such a deep level for your personal brand and helping with advocate for addiction recovery.
Right.
But that was one of the first things I said is when we first met, because guys, I say this all the time, you have to have awareness of yourself. And so you know what your tendencies and triggers are. And then you have to know about the person you're looking to work with or help. So that was like one of the first things, like, what do you like? Like, do you know the Enneagram? What's your love language? Like all of those types of things.
Right.
And that led you down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
But that's what you said is it takes me a while. Like whenever I'm faced with a thought, I need to process it, think, and get back. Mm-hmm. So guys, this is why it's important. So if you met with someone, maybe a colleague, maybe if you're a pharmacist meeting with a pharmacy student, and you didn't ask this question and you proposed them a challenge, but they didn't respond and you didn't have this awareness, you'd probably get frustrated and there'd be dissonance. And the student, by the way, would definitely feel that dissonance, and they probably would be apprehensive of telling you how they were if you didn't ask first. So you see how that gap and wedge would be driven from the beginning. But if you flip that script and you come at it with awareness of yourself and ask these types of questions, you bypass any, because guess what? Everyone's not the same person. Shh, don't tell anybody. But real talk, you have to understand what someone's preferences are, what they enjoy. Because when I ask that, do you like when you're faced with a problem, do you like to talk about it right away, or do you like to think about it? And you said, I definitely have to process. And I said, I'm so glad I asked you that. Yeah. Because I'm not that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it now. But that's something I needed to know.
Right.
And that really helps, having that communication, whether it's a business relationship, a friendship, intimate relationship, whatever it might be. All right. So that was super important. So I stole the mic. Take it back.
No, you're fine. Yeah, for me, so it all made sense. So if you're familiar with Enneagrams, great. If not,
read the book. There's a link in the description below.
Yes, for sure.
Take a deep dive.
But for me, as soon as I took the Enneagram test and read about myself, it was somebody does get you. You're not alone.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more understood than when I read my Enneagram.
I had the same feeling, dude.
Yeah. And at the same time, finding out that I was a 2, it didn't surprise me that addiction was something that I could possibly struggle with, being that 2s are very good at caring about other people's emotions and not themselves.
Yeah.
Or wanting to be along for the ride, but not the center of attention or whatever. So for me, if I was helping other people and hurting myself at the time, it didn't matter as long as I was helping them.
Yes.
As that relates to Adderall, I knew it was bad. I knew I shouldn't keep ingesting more, but if there was a purpose behind this, if there was something I could be doing that was helping somebody else, even if it was not even helping anybody, I just thought it was.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole.
For sure. So you've been warned, but I highly recommend diving into the Enneagram if you're not familiar, or maybe you did a random test in the past. Highly recommend the book that was recommended to me that started my journey is The Road Back to You. We'll have a link in the show notes so that you can get that. It's available on Amazon, I believe Audible as well, but highly recommend that you take this and dive into it, because it'll give you so much clarity on yourself and, more importantly, understanding others. And the reason for this is to have empathy and understanding for why people are the way they are, because it's how they view the world and what triggers them, what makes them feel safe, when they're stressed, how they act, and everything else. But yeah, there's lots of layers to this interview because there's lots of you, dude. And I love that.
Yeah, the nice thing for me for the Enneagram was finding out about myself was great, but then digging deeper and finding out, okay, this is what I look like when I'm growing, and this is what I look like in periods of stress.
Yes.
It allowed me to step back and be okay, this isn't what you should be doing right now in this moment. Step back, reassess, which I hope to take over more into my marriage. I'm working on it. But just being able to self-identify problem areas and where you start to go in ways that you're not happy about. it's been super powerful.
That's awesome, dude. Oh, so we get that. So you're diving into that. You're like, what's an Enneagram? And then 3 books later, you're literally on a podcast talking about it. But then looking at your next journey, so you're diving in and you're starting to go through the course. You're starting to develop this, and something happens. You start to see that you actually do have skills. And the reason that you love helping other people is it's one of your natural gifts. And then we start to see, maybe, just like you said, maybe there's more to just managing a spa, which is what you used to do. So tell us that moment and like what happened after then.
Oh, I'm still living.
You don't have to give me the day.
I'm still living it. Yeah, I don't know. I just like when I started to realize that people crave authenticity and rawness, like that your struggle impacts people in ways that like you aren't aware of, even if it's not the same struggle that you went through or that they're going through. When I saw the way that people reacted to that rawness and vulnerability, it's just like, it's kind of weird. Like I have to be careful and not let it become this selfish thing where it's like, like I'm the center of attention. No, that's not it.
Yes.
I have to be kind of aware that like I'm doing this for them.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just been really rewarding, and it's encouraged me in ways that like I don't even necessarily think about on the day-to-day basis. It's just flipped the way that I look at myself.
I love that, dude. And that's such an important point you made, because when you work with me, results are typical. You do get success, but one of the traps with social media, with building a community, growing your business, is you can start to read your headlines too much and start to think like, oh, I'm this massive influence person. So I think what you said is so important, because you did have growth. Like now you're what, 10.1 over 10,000 followers Instagram?
Yeah, I fluctuate. Yeah.
Something like that.
Around 10.
Around 10.
Yeah.
And you're growing the business Instagram following and the Facebook page and everything else.
Right.
And I think what you said is so important. And I think the one word that is so essential for someone that's looking to build their personal brand is humility. You have to have humility and realize that it's not about you. Yes, your story is a vehicle to lend help and guide them, your audience, to their end goal, their outcome that you're looking to serve them in. But that's it. You're not the hero. He's the hero, me being the guide in this role.
Right.
So I'm not the hero saying, oh, look what I did. You're going to do this. Like, follow me. No, it's, I went through my journey. I'm going to make you the hero in yours. I'm serving as your guide. And guys, if you break down every personal brand to like the nuts and bolts, that's what the successful ones do. It's, I went through something, so you have integrity, so you're practicing what you preach. Now, step one, which most people miss, and you'd be surprised how many. So you have to have actually done what you said you do. And then you see someone that's looking to take a similar path, and you say, you know, we have this conversation,
right?
And we look, what's important to you? Why is it important? And all those other intricacies that we went through. And now here you are.
Here I am.
So dude, so proud of you.
Thanks.
Like, it's just, I remember back when we first met and seeing you like, oh dude, it's just, it's incredible. Like this is my purpose.
Yeah.
For real, is to be a light among the darkness, so that it's not me, the light. It's showing you that you've had the light in you the whole time. Mm-hmm. Because this is why I do it. Once that happens, you are now a light for other people in the darkness.
Yeah. So I think at least the thing that I took away from that is, yes, we can all be the light for other people, but the lightness is out there and it's not us. It's just a matter of illuminating it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because people are in this dark space. So like, let's just real quick, let's do an experiment. Okay. So just literally imagine that you're in a dark room. So turn out the lights or just close your eyes. Don't do this if you're driving. All right. Common sense, but it's not so common. Y'all know. Okay. So literally imagine yourself in a dark room and all you see is darkness. You don't know what's up. You don't know what's down. You don't know anything. But when a light appears, you now know where to go. You gravitate towards that and you see that light and you get curious. Now that is all you need to see. Oh, there is light in the darkness, because light swallows out the darkness, but darkness can't swallow out the light. And that's really what my mission in helping everyone is because all of us are either in or have gone through or are about to go through a very dark season in our life. And when we lose focus on that light, we tend to get swallowed up by the darkness. So whatever that is for you, whether that's addiction or struggling with a relationship or a career or whatever that adversity might be, I want you to know that, one, you're not alone. One, you're not broken. There is hope. there's, like Brian said, there's no such thing as hopelessness. And so I want to kind of take this full circle. Brian shared with where he started, all of the just challenges that you had from that impacting your job, your relationship, everything. And then you came to this place, you're going through this process. And now can you just kind of share what like you're feeling, your emotional state, what your outlooks are for True Rest, managing that, your personal brand, and like what the future looks like for you?
Yeah, I think I said this to you like a week or so ago, but it's the first time that I can at least remember where I genuinely feel like I haven't been depressed. Like it's like genuine. Well, it's kind of hard to explain. But just excited to kind of see where I can go from here, who else I can reach. I don't know. It's, again, I'm a processor first for 5 seconds. So to be thrown in that position, I don't know. It's just kind of taking it in stride. I try not to get too far ahead of what's in the next hour, just because I think if you're living in the future, you're living in anxiety.
That's exactly it. Remember what I told you?
Yep. And if you're living in the past, you're living in depression. So I just try to live now.
Yeah. Well, you do remember. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, guys. So early on, I had this conversation with Brian. It's something real profound that's so real talk. So if you are experiencing depression, you're living in the past. If you're experiencing anxiety, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, you're living in the present, because it really is a gift. I said that without a script because I live it. It's true. I've gone through depression. I've suffered anxiety attacks multiple times a day, but this is literally like the gift of the present. And that's why, like, seeing you go through that, dude, it just, like, my heart's going to explode. Like, it makes it all worth it, guys. Like, you see all the content I do, you see all the posting and the podcasts and stuff. And you're at, like, it's not about the followers. It's about one life. And dude, I'm so freaking proud of you, man. COVID hug. Yeah, COVID hug. This is 6 feet, by the way. So I don't want to be getting no DMs, all right? If you're watching the YouTube version. Yeah, man. But I'm proud of you. And I just want you to know that, like, I didn't do any of this.
Yeah.
You did all this. I gave you the guidance. I gave you the steps. I gave you the support. I gave you the nudges. I checked in with you, all that stuff. But you're the one that put it into practice. Mm-hmm. You're the one that got up for our 7 a.m. morning meetings, or, you know, after you worked the shift, you came and you gave your all. And yeah, I just have seen such a tremendous shift in your level of ownership, in your level of leadership, and your staff has seen it too.
Yeah.
And I haven't told you this, but I've asked your staff. So this is the first time he's hearing this, by the way. I've asked your staff if you've noticed a change.
Yeah.
And they absolutely have. They love you, dude. They literally look up to you like a father figure.
They're the best.
They are.
They're the heavy lifters of the team.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. Yeah, and Adam just loves you. Well, I mean, I do. I'm Adam, but Adam, the boss, the owner, yeah, he loves you too. But it's just really rewarding for me to see you go through such a transformation, man, and just owning your life and living it on your terms and getting free of that trap, because addiction's a trap. Yeah. And yeah, you're definitely a testament to help give hope to those who feel like hopelessness is a word. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, get that lessness. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Hope Dealer Junior.
Yeah. Hey, I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get it going. But yeah, man. So, by the way, we're in Pittsburgh. True Rest Float Spa is in Pittsburgh, but it's also all over. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to this, it is a national chain. So y'all can get to that. And I'm sure there's other float therapies. So where can people learn more about True Rest, float therapy, and all of that sort of thing? I
mean, TrueRest.com. TrueRestPittsburgh.com is the Pittsburgh's.
Yeah. Go to that one.
Page.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, True Rest Pittsburgh, Facebook, obviously. One of the spas that I actually just had the privilege of visiting recently was some of the ones up in Columbus. There's one in Powell, one in Easton. But yeah, check out your Google search, Google.com, whatever you want to call it.
Y'all have all those links for TrueRestPittsburgh.com in the show notes below. Also their social media profiles, because I think you guys will be really fascinated to see, like, pre our work together, what was going down, and then now what's going down, because it's super entertaining. Oh yeah, like it's really cool.
There's stuff that we haven't even started yet, which is,
I love that we haven't even started yet, yo. Yeah, I love that.
Pod Squad.
Look, yeah. So that was one of the that was one of the ideas that came out of the pod. It was like, dude, you know how I've been talking about building community? I got the buzzword. The Pod Squad.
That's it. It's taken off a life.
Yeah, it really has. This exploded, like, anyway.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, but you've run with it, man, and I know you're going to own that and just grow the crap out of it. But the other thing I want you guys to see is Brian is so real, raw, and honest about his transformation journey. Obviously, like everything that he shared here on the podcast, on the video about addiction and overcoming that and repurposing that to really help people through that path themselves and find that hope and that starting place. But where are you most active on social?
Instagram.
Yeah,
Instagram is my most active one.
And what's your handle so people can follow you?
PodSquadRecovery. This is fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. PodSquadRecovery on the gram. You guys need to follow him. He does deep dives and he connects with everybody. So if you've got questions about his journey, if you've got questions about, can you get me into to float for free or whatever y'all want to do? I don't know. But yeah, check him out. All his social media links will be down in the show notes below. Definitely a genuine dude that is the real deal going through that. But yeah, just an honor to work with you, man. It's literally people like you why I do what I do. So I know that you were excited about this. This is his first podcast ever in his life, by the way.
It is.
So congratulations. You popped your pod cherry. Pod squad. There we go. It just keeps going, dude. Yeah. But yeah, man. So this is why I do what I do. And for as big of a deal as this was for you, like this was a huge deal for me because I'm just so freaking proud of you, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So just thank you for your trust because I don't take that lightly. And I tell every single one of my clients that you're taking a gamble on me because you never worked with me before.
Right.
I mean, you can probably see the stuff I do and whatnot, but I don't take that lightly. So I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's been wonderful.
Awesome, man. And so all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, please make sure that you check out Brian, PodSquadRecovery on Instagram. That's where you'll get more of his journey. Check out TrueRestPittsburgh.com for more information on float therapy and to book your next float. But for now, guys, Dr. Adam Martin signing off of the Fit Pharmacist Healthcare Podcast with the Pod Squad Master, B-Rye. Guys, make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. We dispense a new episode every single week on your favorite podcast platform. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for the YouTube channel and make sure that you've got your notifications on so you can get a daily dose all the time to fuel you for all the goodness that we dispense from the Fit Pharmacist. But for me, guys, it's out. I'm actually on my way to go float. Real talk, that's where I'm headed now. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Dr. Adam Martin of the Fit Pharmacist Podcast. Go forth, be great, and dispense your full potential.
I see my victory so clear.